All right, thanks for the reminder. All right, so we're looking at counts. So I said counts basically allows you to count of cells in a range that contains numbers. So any cell that actually contains a particular number, it's actually counted or contains a value, would actually be counted. So if we want to count how many cells actually contains a value, where we have amount, the formula is is equals to, that is equal to count, open brackets, you select your range, and then you close bracket and you press your enter. So 5 tells us that we have 5 cells that actually contain values. So we have that for bread, donuts, cookies, cakes, pies, they all contain values, and that is how count is. So there are also different type of count. So you have count A. So it's actually count. So the difference between count and count A, counts only counts the cells that have numbers, that's values, that's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, basically values. But the count A basically counts cells that are not empty. So as long as either it's a value or a text, as if it's either if it's a number or a text or a word, whatever, as long as something has been imputed or a formula, it will count the cell as long as that cell is not empty. So it counts non-empty cells. Yeah, so as long as there is an information in that cell, it will count. But for counts, if you have text, it won't count it, it will skip it. So that's different to count A. Then you have count blank. Count blank will count the number, sorry, it will count the number of blanks in a range of cells. So in a range, basically. So let's say you have some cells that are not being without any value and want to know how many cells that do not have any value. You can use the count blank. You also have count if. So what count if does is it will count using specific conditions. So we're actually going to try the count if and the count ifs later. I'm just trying to introduce this concept to you so that you actually you understand the different types of counts. But when we talk about counts, all it's doing is it's just basically counting with specific information. So for counts, it counts only values. So the syntax is equal to count, open brackets, and then you select the values and you close. Have 5. So that's for the counts. So I guess this is pretty simple. I won't dwell too much on this. So I'll just go on to the next thing, which is average. But so far for count and sum, is there any question? So I want to believe these are still introductory, are still. I just hope we're not having any issues with this thing. So let me know, and then I'll try and quickly address it. Yeah, I want to believe that we are all following. We're actually also giving it a try as well. Yeah, so the next we'll be looking at is average. So average basically gives you the mean of the range of numbers. Yeah, so average basically is add all the numbers together and divide it by the number. So it's like saying sum all the numbers together and divide it by the count. That's what average, that's how I think I can define average. So what average does is it adds a group of numbers together and then divides it by the number of those items. So in this case, we have 50, 20, 60, 40. So if you add these numbers together and you divide it by 1, 2, 3, 4, basically you get the average. So that is what average is. And it's like the mean of a group of numbers. So the function for that is equal to average, just like the name. Equal to average. And just like when we have counts, you can see average has almost the same thing. That average, average A, average if, and average ifs. Average if and average ifs are basically conditional. But for now, we focus on average. Equal to average, open number, and then you select the range, and then you close bracket, and you have 42.5. So now let's give it a try somewhere else. Let's see equal to, so we do the sum of this, divided by the count of the same, let's say the same thing. You can see we have the same thing. Yeah, so this is basically what average means. So average basically is add all the numbers together and divide it by the frequency, not the frequency, divided by the number, um, the total number of all the count, basically. Yeah, so that's what it means. So that is 50 plus 20 plus 60 plus 40 divided by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that gives you the average. So average basically is like the. So please let's try the second one and let us tell me the answer. I want to be sure that actually all. Someone should try the second one. Just give me the answer.
Oh my God.
So once you get it, just drop it in the chat box. 35. All right. Thank you, Ibrahim. 35. Okay. Awesome. Great to know you guys are following. So let's give it a try. Let's be sure if it's 35. I want to believe it's 35. Okay. How about All right, thank you very much for those that actually made that attempt. So it's also the same thing for the others. So the reason why this document was shared, in case you don't have it, please check the platform to share on the WhatsApp group. And the reason why you guys have it is so you can actually keep giving it a try. This is more of introduction to Excel, or this is just mostly focused on Excel. We'll see how all of these things applies when we start basically analyzing data more. So please let us try and practice as much as possible and try to understand these things. Yes. So also, so that's for average. Then also we have median or median mode. So median, these are actually statistical terms. So yeah, you could use average or mean, but median stands for the middle number. Mode stands for the most frequently appeared number. The number that appears the most. So median means the middle number. So what it means is when you have a range of numbers, it will arrange it from smallest to largest, and then it will select the middle number and then present it. So if it's an even number, if the total number of items basically happens to be an even number, it should the two numbers in between, it will add both of them and then divide by two and then present it as the median. But if it's an odd number, it just picks the number in between and separate it after arranging it in an ascending order. So that's basically median. So let's try it. So what's the median of this range of numbers? So our median is, so if you arrange it in an ascending order, you have 20, then you have 40, followed by 50, then 50 before 100. So you can see that the middle number will be 50. So this is correct. So that is median. So let's give it a try. Median actually stands for middle number after it has been arranged in an ascending order from smallest to largest. So please, I want to believe we're actually points. So let's also try mode. I said mode basically is the most frequently appeared number. So number that appears more than once. Number that with the highest frequency, sorry. That's basically. So any number that appears the most, basically is so which number appears the most? That's 50 because 50 appears twice, while the other numbers appear just once. You can see 40 appears once, 20 appears once, and then 10 appears So 100 appears once, or 50 appears twice. So yeah, so mode basically gives the one that occurs most frequently, while median gives you the value in the middle of the data sets. Yeah, after being arranged in an ascending order. So that's about average, mean, the average, and then mode. Is there any question based on this? Is there any question? Is anyone having issues doing it? Is anyone having any issues or challenge doing it? Okay, so I guess we're all good. Please someone's mute. Let me find out who that person is. Okay, Mary Jane, your mic is not muted. All right, so I guess we're good now. Okay, thank you. So we'll move on to, so we're done with average. So we're moving on to mean and max. So when we talk about mean and max, we're talking about the minimum in the minimum value within a range of numbers, and then max stands for like the maximum value within a range of numbers. So when you have a range of numbers, with mean, you can find the minimum value, and then with max, you can find the maximum value within a range of numbers. So in this case, we can see, so if I'm too fast, please let me know. I actually feel like I'm fast. So if I'm too fast, please let me know so I can slow down. If you need me to recap, you can call me back and then I'll quickly recap. So yeah, so Apple, so we can see this range of numbers, and if you want to find the mean, equal to mean, basically that will give you your minimum value within the range of numbers. And then you have 20. So you have 20. So 20 is the minimum in that range of value, which is orange. So that's the minimum amount that was that is charged basically for that fruit item. While max gives you the maximum value within a range of numbers. So it's equal to max, open bracket, and then you select your range of numbers and close brackets. Okay, ST. So you say yes with median. Do you want me to come back on the median? Oh, is the median and mode under average functions? Okay, no. So median is a function, or median is a function on its own. Mode is a function on its own. Average is a function on its own. Yeah, so they basically tell you, they give you an insight into your data. Yes, with median, you're able to say, okay, median basically tells you the middle number. Mode tells you the most frequently appeared number. So which number appeared the most? Let's say you're trying to get the age of, okay, let's say, okay, I want to find out the, so in this group, let's say, okay, in this, on those online, I want to find out which but let's say we're using the age, we're using the age of those online. So I want to find out how many people are, which age group appears the highest. So is it those that are 30 years old that appears the highest, or is it those that are 20 that appears the highest? That basically is the mode, the most frequently appeared number. So with max, max tells you, okay, so who is the oldest person in this group? I can use max to determine who the oldest person is in the group. Then you can use mean to determine the youngest person in this group. So let's say the oldest person in this group is like 50. I doubt if there's anyone that's 50 years old that's doing NYSC. But let's say we want to determine, okay, what's the oldest person that actually signed up for our program? So we can use max to determine the oldest person that signed up for the program. We can use mean to determine the youngest person that signed up for our program. Yeah, and then we can use mode, which is frequently appeared, to find out which age group seem to be more interested in our program, so that when we're actually designing our ads, we know how to target, we know the type of group to actually target. And for those that are not really maybe below the age or above the age, we want to find out exactly why they're not interested. Maybe yeah, so we want to find out, okay, so let's say maybe most of the people that actually participate in our program are actually 25 years. Yeah, and that gives us an insight. So that's basically what the mode is, the most frequently appeared. The white median basically just the middle number when the number is arranged from lowest to highest in an ascending order. In an ascending order from lowest to highest. What is the middle number? Yeah, so that's basically what it tells us. So let's just do it. Yeah, so it's not like it is a function. So average is a function on its own, and then median is a function on its own, and then mode is a function on its own. So let me just quickly do it again so we actually understand. So now we've looked at average. So we want to find the average. Let's say we want to find the average. One second. Let's want to find the average, the mode, and then the median. Yeah. So remember, I mentioned these are just basically statistical. It's basically called descriptive analysis. Basically, so what it does is it describes your data sets. It just gives you an insight as to what your data set speaks to. Yeah. So average basically is like the mean. So you want to find the average equal to average, and then you select and you close. That gives you your average. Like I mentioned, so the mode basically the one that appears the most. So that's equal to mode. So average was equal to average, mode was equal to mode, open bracket, and then you select and you close your bracket. Equal to mode, open brackets, you select your range, and then you close, enter. And then for median, equal to median, open brackets, select your range, close, enter. And that gives you your median. Remember, median is just the middle number when it is arranged from in an ascending order from smallest to largest. Yeah, so if you arrange this, you have 20 followed by 40, followed by 50, 50, and then 100. You realize that 50 is in between. So that's 20, 40, and then you have 50, 100. The one in between is 50. I hope that answers the question. If it's not very clear, please let me know. Let me see if I can find another way to actually explain it. I want to believe that's clear. Yes, all right. Awesome. So yeah, we're looking at mean. So mean basically is minimum. This is how you write the function equal to mean, open bracket, and then you select your range of values. Yeah, and then you also have next, then you have max. This is the syntax, this is the way it is arranged, equal to max, open bracket, then you have G3 to G6. So you have that's minimum and then you have maximum. Yes. So that's how you do it. So let's try this. Let's find the minimum. I know even looking at it, you can almost tell the minimum. So can someone help me out? Using mean, what's the minimum? What's the minimum value in that range of numbers? In that range. So we're looking at D9 to D15. That's the table. So what's the minimum? 20. All right, thank you very much. So 20 is the minimum. And then you select and then close. Yeah, so this is not just applicable to amounts, it's also applicable to dates and a few other things as well. So you can also use it for dates to find the minimum date. So let's say everybody imputed their um, maybe date of registration. Want to find out what was the earliest time that someone registered and what was the latest time someone registered. You can usually use mean and max to determine the latest time someone registered and also the earliest time that registration was done for date. So it also applies to date as well. Yeah, just to mention. Yeah, but let's even give it a try. Let me see if I can look for a data set. Okay. Okay. Give me 1 second. Okay, so just to mention, if you ever see this hash appearing, I think I explained it in the first class that what this actually means is you're not able to view it because of the length of the text in that cell is longer than the space or the width of the cell allocated to that, the width allocated to that column. Yeah, so two ways to adjust this. You can highlight both of them and then you just double click. Or basically you just highlight one of them or you can just highlight and or basically you can just even stretch it. So you can stretch it or you can just double click and to adjust itself. Yeah. So we want to get the maximum dates. You can do equal to max, open bracket. So what's the max? So we can see the maximum date is 11th of 8. Where's 11th of 8? So 2023. That is the highest date. And we can see, so we had 2023, 11th of 8, 2023, and then we have 8th of 10th, 2023. But this is the max, basically. And then we can also get the minimum date too as well. So minimum date, that'll be equal to mean, open bracket, and then if you select this, you have the minimum date. You can see the minimum date is 1995 as well. So this also applies to dates as well. So this can actually give you an idea of, oh, when did an event happen or when, so when the people start registering, you want to find out, okay, when the people start registering and when the people stop registering. Yeah, so this actually allows you to achieve that as well. So that's for min and max. I don't know if you have any question based on what I just explained now. No, we don't. This didn't come with the okay 20. All right, awesome. So can I go on? Is there any question? All right. Okay. So I guess there's no question. We'll just move on. Go on, sir. All right. Thank you very much. So yeah, so we'll be moving on to date and time. So date and time, basically, there's a function that actually allows you to tell that gives you the date in real time and also the time in real time. So if we want to find out what today's date is telling us, the function is called just like the name today is equal to today. That's basically the function. So the function is equal to today, open bracket, closed bracket. So equal to today and to give you the date today. So you want to find out the date today. There's a function that gives you the date today, and it's called today. So equal to today, open bracket, and then close bracket. You're not putting anything in brackets. Equal to type today, open brackets, then close brackets. That basically will give you the date today. Okay, so please give it a try. So you can put your date of birth, and let's see how many days, or your birthday, and let's see how many days to your birthday. So please, one mistake people usually put when you say your birthday, please don't put 1993, put 2023. Yeah, so like my own is December. So 13th of December 23. Okay, so if you actually see this error of value, what it means is the arrangement does not follow the format. So all you just need to do is to switch, which means the month comes first. The format basically is month, day, and then year. So once you see that value error, just rearrange it. So in this case, the format is actually month, then day, and year. So the month is 12th, 13th. So you can see 73 days to my birthday. So actually, I'm actually 19. So 79 days to my birthday, basically. So with this, you learn how to subtract. So you can easily subtract two dates together. This is how you subtract two dates. You can easily subtract two dates together like this. Yes. So, but let me just show you how to do it actually, because I know people usually often run into issues with this. So, equal to my birthday minus is end date minus like start date. Yes, but sometimes it will give you an error. So if you see a funny number like maybe 4, 5, 6, some very funny random numbers, what you might want to do is change it to, or if it shows you a date, it might show you a date like this. All you just need to do is to change it to numbers. So you just change it to numbers, or you go to general. So once you do this, a number will appear. That's when you're subtracting two dates together. Yeah. There are actually several ways to carry out this subtraction. There are several, but this is usually like the simplest and most straightforward. Yeah. You can do year and then you do this year minus that year, some random things, or you can use days, this day minus this day. But yeah, this is basically how you subtract two dates together. Yeah. So that is it. But we want to get the time now. We want to get the time now. The function is called now. Open bracket, close bracket, and to give you the time. Yes. So we want to get the time. You use the function now. So the function today gives you the date. The function now gives you the time. Yes. So now I want us to try this. So we looked at how to subtract two dates together here, which is quite straightforward. So now I want us to try this question. So we have, try not to peep. I know you might be tempted to peep to your left because the answer is on your left, but take your time, just give it a try. Find the total hours worked. So they said the time in is 8 a.m. Lunch time or lunch out is 12 p.m. This for someone, the person comes into work by 8 a.m. 8 a.m. in the morning, he arrives at the office, and then lunch, he went for lunch around 12 p.m. And then he came back from lunch 1 p.m. So which means he spent 1 hour during lunch. And then he now continued working all the way to 5 p.m. So he worked from 8 o'clock to 12 o'clock, and then he worked from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. So how many hours did this person work? So who wants to give it a try? So please just let's try it. So basically this is subtracting time. Okay, so someone is saying I should repeat this particular section. Okay, so what I said is I've only talked about two things. If you want to get the date today, you want to get today's date, the function for that is equal to today. Open bracket, close bracket. So equal to today, open bracket, close bracket to give you the date today, like today's date, 1st of October. Oh, by the way, Independence, everyone. Happy Independence, everyone. It actually almost skips my mind. So yeah, it's give you the date today. So we can see that this is the date. And then also it's asking you your birthday. So the reason why you have your birthday, we want to see how we calculate what do you call it, how we can find the difference between two dates. So I mentioned that if you do this and you're getting maybe a calendar, like you're getting it in this format, or you want it in a numerical format, all you can do is just change this date to general to give you a number, or you can change it to number. Yeah, and that will be fine, and you'll be fine. Yeah, so basically, this is how you get. This is how you subtract two dates together. Yeah. So date onto your birthday, that's 79. So for me, that's 79 days. One where this will be applicable is, so I basically manage programs. So sometimes what I want to do also is, I remember designing a sheet where I wanted it to be counting down to a due date. So which means if an activity is meant to end maybe next tomorrow, so I want it to be tracking so that I can know how many days I have left for that activity to be carried out. That's where this usually comes in handy, this subtraction or subtracting two dates together. So by the time you start working with different data sets or carrying out different activities, then you know exactly how or when you might want to use all of these things. Yes. So I said, but for the time, if you want to get the time, the current time, so the function is equal to now, open bracket, close bracket. And so you can see that the current time is 6:24. Yes. So, but let me also mention something. It's been a long time since I did this, but oftentimes some people usually have issues with their time. Let me see if I can still remember. Okay, yes. So there's something called workbook calculation. Yes. So please always ensure that it's not on manual and it's on automatic. So what happens is on automatic, it recalculates on its own. So you can actually see it when automatic calculation is enabled, Excel recalculates the workbook automatically each time a value affected, if formula changes and all. So please, if you notice that, because people usually have this issue, if you notice that basically it's not you're not having the real time, or you have to close your Excel and then open your Excel for it to apply or for you to see those changes, please kindly go to formulas and ensure that it's on automatic. Because if you have to close and then reopen, then most likely you have it in manual, which means you have to manually recalculate or refresh your document for it to apply. Yeah, so I was going to mention that in case you're having that challenge, because I know sometimes people usually have, they reach out to me and they have that challenge. So please just kindly check that. So for the current time, so this is our current time. I hope we all got that. Is anyone that is having issues with that? I didn't get that. Okay, so we've done the calculation. Someone said 9 hours, someone said 8 hours. Okay, awesome. So I think Princess actually got it. I guess it is 8 hours, but let's find out. So equal to, so let me just mention to, you find the correction to your left. So you can see it here on the left. I can read up on the steps in case it's not very clear. Yeah, but let's do it together. So I mentioned that. So I'm not going to use that one approach. I'm going to use a different approach. So I mentioned that she came in 8 a.m. and then she went for lunch, or he came in, or the worker came in, resumed work 8 a.m., went for lunch 12 p.m., which means the person worked from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m., and then the person now worked again from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. So one way we can do it is 5 minus 12. Sorry, 12 minus 8, rather, I said 12 minus 8. And then we can now do 5 minus 1. And then we basically will multiply by 24 hours and we add it together. We add it together and then multiply by 24 hours. That's one way. Another way basically is we can do 5 p.m. minus 8 a.m. And then that's this time minus this time, 5 p.m. minus 8 a.m. And then we'll now do minus 1 p.m. minus 12 p.m. So we're removing that 1 hour difference from the is it 8 hours that was worked or the 9 hours that was actually worked per day. So let's give it a try. Okay, so open bracket minus this. We have open bracket, so we have 5 p.m. minus 1 p.m. close bracket. Then we'll multiply everything by 24 hours. Remember, this is not 24 hours clock. If it was a 24 hours clock, we'll need to multiply by 24. Okay, it is giving me a very random number. So we did launch out, which is D33 minus D32, and then we did, okay, wait, let me see first. What's this? So there's something wrong with, times 24 times 24. Okay, I'm not certain, but let me, why this is, okay, minus, so we have 5 p.m. minus 1 p.m. minus 12 p.m. Okay, I'm surprised the other method is not working. I'll still try and find out why it's actually supposed to work in terms of the difference. Oh, okay. I think I know why. So basically, this gives us 8 hours. So now let's try it again. I think I understand why. So we had 12 minus 8 so times 24. So this would work for hours. Okay. Then we have them plus 5 minus 1 close bracket times 24. Oh, okay, I did minus the other time. Okay, I think I don't know where my problem is coming from or where the challenge came from. 8,000 ahead, so this is supposed to work. So if we bring out this 24 times 24. Okay, so thank you. So it actually worked. Yes, I hope nobody is confused. So what I did was, like I mentioned, so what I did was the total number of hours in the day that was worked minus the time is spent going out for lunch. That will give us the number of hours worked. So I did 5 p.m. minus, okay. So yeah, so you can do the total number of hours worked in a day or total number of hours is spent in the office minus the hours is spent for lunch. That could be 5 p.m. minus 8 p.m. minus 1 p.m. minus 12 p.m. So that's what I initially did. The second approach is to calculate the number of hours is spent in the morning before lunch and the number of hours is spent after lunch. So that's what I did here. So the number of hours is spent before lunch is 12 p.m. minus 8 a.m. That's the number of hours is spent before lunch. Then the number of hours, which is 4 hours, the number of hours is spent after lunch, which is 5 p.m. minus 1 p.m., basically, which is another 4 p.m. Then I added both of them together and I multiplied by 24 because this is a 12-hour clock. Basically, I want it to count as a 24-hour clock. So assuming we were having maybe it was 8 a.m. and then we had 12 and then we had maybe 13 o'clock and we had like 5 o'clock is like 17 o'clock here. So that's like 17. Then we need to multiply by 24, the 24-hour clock. Yes, so I hope that makes sense. Yes, and please, in case you're having any issues, remember if this is not shown accurately, ensure to convert to numbers. Yeah, if you're having maybe like a time, if it's showing you a time or something, just go back and change it to general or change it to numbers. That will give you the number of hours. Yes. So is it fine? Is there any question? Is anyone stuck? So success. Your answer is still not correct. Okay, so Sadi, what number are you getting? What answer are you getting? Can you share your answer? Suji Emmanuel, what did you get? Are you still getting 9? Oh, 0.33. If you're getting 0.33, check if you're using, what is the, are you using plus? With 0.3, did you multiply by 24 hours? Wait. Did you multiply by 24 hours? Okay, so if you're getting 0.33, so you can see you didn't multiply by 24 hours. So please multiply by 24 hours and you get okay, so Osaz or I think Osuzi. Yeah. So what I just told you now is if you're seeing 12 a.m. is because you've not changed it to numbers. If you put it as time, if you multiply by 24, you multiply by 24 and you leave it in time, you'd see, sorry, and you leave it in time, you see 12 a.m. So this is what you're getting. So this is what you're getting. Yes. And I said change it to ensure you have it as general or you change it to number. Remember, you're calculating the number of hours. It's the number of hours you're calculating. Yes. So please change it to number. Yes, not time. So if yours is showing value, then it means there's an error with your calculation. Ensure that you followed the same pattern. If you're multiplied by 12 and I got 4.17 by 12, no, well, you're multiplying by 24. Multiply by 24. So I'm going to leave it on. Let me open the calculation. So this is the calculation. Let's try and follow it accordingly. We follow it accordingly, you will not have any issue. You shouldn't have an error. All right, thank you, Suji. So multiply by 24, 0.33 times 24 cannot be 4.17. Even normal calculator, use normal calculator. Let's even use a normal calculator. So equal to 0.33 times 24. You can see 0.33 times 24 will not give you, cannot give you 4 points. And that is an 8. So yeah, so check your multiplication again. And then also, okay, just to mention, when you're doing your multiplication, look at how I put the brackets. I have two brackets and then D33 minus D32, then one single bracket plus, because I wanted it to remember BODMAS, so it follows the BODMAS format. It follows the BODMAS format, so it deals with the first bracket, deals with the second bracket before it adds it up. Once it now adds it up, then it will multiply by 24 hours. So double brackets and then D33 minus D32, single bracket close, plus single bracket open, D35 minus D34, single bracket close, and then rather double brackets before you multiply by 24. If you're having 4 a.m., then it's because you have still not converted. Please convert, please convert, please convert. When I say convert, I mean change it to numbers, change it to numbers. Don't leave it in time. Please don't leave it in time. I said change it to numbers. And then you shouldn't be getting 4 a.m. Check your calculations too as well. Yeah. So just keep trying. Let's just move on because of time. So let me just paste it and drop it here. I'm in a place where we can all see it. Why you keep attempting it. All right. So this is it. This is the calculation. We've not gotten the ideology. All right. So let me explain. You get to the office by 8 a.m. So you sit down on your desk and then you work till 12 p.m. How many hours have you worked from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m.? Osaz. Or Usu. Please, can you pronounce the name? You can actually unmute. So how many hours have you worked?
It's Anthony. It's Anthony or Swiss. And
Okay, so we're just trying to twist my mouth, Anthony. All right. Okay, so if you worked from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m., so Anthony, how many hours have you worked? You get to the office 8 a.m. and you close and you stop work by 12 p.m. to go for lunch. How many hours have you worked?
that's far as
4 hours, right? Yeah.
4 hours.
So now you come back from lunch
Yes.
by 1 p.m. and you work from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. How many hours have you worked?
It's under 4 hours.
Another 4 hours, right? So in total for the day, how many
Yes.
hours did you work in a day?
8 hours.
How did you get your 8 hours?
I added the first half of, the first half I worked with the second half.
Okay.
4 + 4, 8.
So the first 4 hours and the next 4 hours, right? Yes. So
Yes.
that's basically the ideology. So what you first did was to subtract 12 p.m. from 8 a.m. and then 5 p.m. from 1 p.m. But remember, it is p.m. If you do normal math, it's like subtracting. So if you do 12 minus 8 normally, 12 minus 8 is what?
It's 4.
Then 5 minus 1 is what?
4.
Yeah, so 4 plus 4
Also
will be
4. 8.
8. Yeah, so that would give you 8 hours. So that would give you 8 hours basically that has actually worked, that you've worked for the day. So that's actually what you did, right? So that is the ideology. Or which
Yes.
one do you understand?
Yes. Thank you. I understand now.
Yes. So that's just the whole concept. So we're trying to get the amount of hours you worked in a day. 12 minus 8, 5 minus 1. Basically, that will give you the total number of hours worked.
Sorry. So the 24 that we multiplied is just because it's 24 hours in a day, right?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes. All right. Okay, so thank you very much. So we'll be moving on to joining text and numbers. So yesterday we looked at splitting text. So yesterday we looked at splitting, where we had an email address and then we splitted it into first name and last name. So now we want to do the reverse. What happens if you now have the first name and the last name and you want to join them together? How do you go about it? There are actually two ways you can go about it. One is using concatenate. So you can use a function called concatenate. So concatenate is basically a function that allows you to join two or more words together or two or more informations together. So let's just give it a try. Equal to concatenate. So now looking at the order, we can see is last name and then first name. But we're going to pay attention to everything. So you will notice it is last name, then a comma, then a space, and then first name. That's how we're going to follow it accordingly. Because the way concatenate works is it just joins it the way you've actually instructed it. So usually when you want to put your first name and your last name, you always give a space. But don't worry, we'll try it normally and then we'll now try including the space so people don't get confused. So equal to Nancy, comma, and then Smith. We close our brackets. So we can see it has joined it together. But usually when you write your name, you don't write your name Nancy Smith. You write your name maybe Nancy and then space and then Smith. Maybe if your name is Oluwadare Emiloju or something, it will be, I mean that Oluwadare, then there'll be a space and then there'll be Emiloju. So I'll show you how you can actually do that. So if we want to do that, we want to include a space. I also want to include a comma. This is how it is done. So please, if you're not paying attention, please just quickly pay attention to this so you don't have to call me back and so you don't miss out on this. So it's actually very clear. So equal to concatenate, look at the spelling. But once this option comes up, you can use a tab. Just press a tab. Once you press the tab, the function will appear. So equal to concatenate, so I don't have to type everything. I'll select Nancy, which is C3, then comma. Now, I want it to appear such that it will be last name, a comma, and then a space. So I'll put that comma and space in strings, double quotes. So I'm going to be using double quotes. The first quote, comma space, that comma space I want, and then double quotes. Then I'll now put a comma. So the comma is to separate the what do you call it? The argument. So the next will now be Smith, close bracket, enter. So you can say you have Nancy, comma, space, Smith. So in case you didn't get it, please just look at it. You can follow through and just try it. Hope we're all trying it. Can I move on? Okay, so I'm just seeing this. So gotten it. Okay, all right, Anthony. So we're actually over 25 on the call. So please let's all contribute. And then Sam, mine is still showing value. Okay, Etsy. So what will happen is immediately after this, I'll give you the opportunity to share your screen. So you can just quickly share your screen. Are you using a laptop? Just respond. ST endowed. Please, let's be using our real name so that I can actually call your actual name. Please, let's not be like Anthony. Using my phone and a laptop. Oh, okay. Can you take a picture and send to, maybe do a screenshot and send to Esther? All right, thank you, Esther. Can you do a screenshot and send to of what of the function and then send it to the group chat? So I'll look at it in the group chat. So are we done now? So Esther, you can just send a picture of it to the function to the group chat so I can quickly just take a look at it and see where the error is coming from. But are we done now? Can I move on? Can I get at least one yes? So I don't understand this second method of joining text. Oh, it's not second, no, this is still the first method we're looking at. So let me explain. Concatenate is a function that allows you to join the information in cells together. So if you have an information in this cell and this cell and you want to join it together, you can use concatenate. Yes. So what you do is equal to concatenate, you select and you use a comma to separate the arguments, and then you click on the second information. You can add as many as possible as long as you keep adding your comma. So you can see, basically, let's even add this one. Let's see what it looks like. You can see Nancy, Smith, Andy, not Jan. That is what concatenate as a function does. But what we want to do is we want to add the first name and the last name such that it appears as last name, comma, first name. So we have the last name first. Oh, the last name should even be Smith. Sorry about that. So that we have the last name first, and then we have a space. Because when you write your name, if I go to write my name, I write Oluwase, and then I leave a space, and then I write Hassan. Remember, Excel is logic. It doesn't think like me and you. Basically, it follows a logical sequence. Yeah, so usually when we want to tell us, okay, what's your name? Oluwase Hassan. So that space in my breath is the space that we usually leave when we're writing our names. Oluwase, then there is a space, and then you write Hassan. I don't write it together. So if you want to introduce a space using double quotes by putting it in quotes. Anything you want to introduce, basically that is not if you're not referencing a cell, but you just want it to be included into the to what you're joining. You put it in a string. So that's what I did. Equal to concatenate. Sorry, last name, comma. So now I want a comma and a space. So I'll start with a double quote, open a double quote, then I'll put my comma and then put a space using the space bar, space. And then I'll close it with my double quote. Then a comma, and then I click on Nancy and I close my bracket, enter. I can see I have Smith, comma, space, Nancy. So this comma and the space is what I put in double quotes. So I did equal to concatenate D3, comma, double quotes, comma, space. So that comma space that we can see in that name. So that's a comma and then space, then I close it with a double quote, then a comma, then C3. Is that fine? And then you can just use your fill. Okay, so Esther, I can see what you sent to the group. So I said I want to see the function. So click on that, the one that has value. I want to see the formula you used. So if I want to see the formula, then I'll understand. Oh, don't worry, you don't need to put the formula. I can see the issue already. So for your time, look at it. You root 8 semicolon 00 and then AM. If you notice, it's not going to be seen as time. If you click on it, it's not going to be viewing it as time. Let me show you mine. So when you look at it, it's showing as time. So you can see it's showing as time and it aligns to the right. Yours is aligned to the left, which means it's seeing it as a text. It's not seeing it as a value, as a number. Now we talked about this during the first class. So you can see that that's why you're having value. So it's like you're adding a text, two texts together. That's why it's not recognizing it. So all you can do is just put 8 and then go to more. I can change it to time and change the format. Okay, so sample and then, okay. Or you format it and then let me change it. Okay. Yes, is that fine? So put your 8 o'clock and then just format it. 8 semicolon 00. And then you can change it to time. Yeah, I change it to time. Yeah, then yes. So Esther, that's how basically you impute it into a cell. That is for time, when dealing with time. So the format is important. So you don't need to type 8 o'clock. You will need Excel to be able to view it as a time. So that's why you need to format it as a time. Yes. So are we good, Esther? Yeah, so now you use a dot. Yeah. Yeah, so you need to use so after L, looking at your keyboard, after L, you can see where you have your colon. So use shift and then click on that and click on it. You'll have it. This is what you should be using, what you can see on my screen. So 8, then is it semicolon or column they call this? I think this should be column, and then 0, 0. I press enter. So yeah, don't use dots and don't try and type the AM itself. Yes, I'm trying again. All right, also next time. Yeah, if any other person is having similar issues, so let's follow the same pattern. Yeah, or you can also just reach out in the chat box, or you can send a screenshot to us as well, and I'll respond. So yeah, so let's move on. So we're in joining text. So do we all get this? Concatenate. Are we fine? I want to move on. Okay, it's very quiet. I want to believe we are actually fine. So let's move on. So there's another way to do it, which is the method I actually like the most. It's pretty, I use it for a lot of things, that's why. And it's used, and it's basically using the ampersand. So the ampersand function, or the amp is using ampersand. So ampersand is like the and, what you call and. I know in primary school we used to call this and. The actual name is ampersand. So you can use this basically to add. So the way we usually say, so this is how we do it. It will be equal to, so we want the full name, let's say we want Smith to come first. Smith and Nancy, enter, and it joins together. But let's say, but now we want a comma and want a space. So what we'll now do is, and so equal to Smith and double quotes, our comma, our space, our double quote again, and Nancy. And we have Smith, comma, Nancy. So is that fine? Is that okay? So I have it open on my screen, so you cannot give it a try. Yeah, fine. Okay. Seems like this is pretty simple. So let me just, we can do the same thing for all of them. So basically, that's how you join two texts together. Okay, so we're getting a little bit into complex grounds. So now we have, remember today and we have now. So if you have date and you have time, remember date has its own format. The format is date, that's a date format. This is a text format. This is a time format. This is a text format. What happens if you want to join a text and a number together? Basically, how do you go about it? So that's what I'm going to be showing us quickly. So if I want to join, like, let's say I want in a cell, I want it to read today's date is this. So it will be like today's date column, and then this will appear. So I can do that. Equal to, but I will need to pay attention to the format of this date. So see how it works. Because then I'm going to be converting this to a text so that it appears in form of a text. So it's going to be equal to, this is already a text, which is C28. Then I'm going to use the ampersand, which is and. Then I want a space between the today's date and the date. So I'm going to put semicolon space, double quote space, double quotes. Then and Now, there's a function called text function. The text function basically allows you to convert from date, time to text so that it appears in that format, in the format you want it to appear. So we're going to have text, open bracket. What's the value? This is our value, D28, comma. What's the format? So we're going to use a double quote for the format. Double quotes. Now, let's say we want it to appear in the form of, let's say we want it to appear, we want the day to come first, then we want the month to come first, and then we want the year to come first, last. I want an hyphen. Instead of this forward slash, we want an hyphen. So we can do day. So day actually stands for DD. Then you have hyphen. Then we have the month, MM. Then we have an hyphen, and then we cannot have the year. So we want only 23 to appear, the year becomes just 2, year. And then double quotes. I can close our bracket and press enter. I can see we have it in a cell as today's date is 0110, 01 hyphen 10 hyphen 23. If we want it as forward slash, we can easily just change the hyphen to forward slash. And sorry, and would have 01/10/23. Is that fine? So let's give that a try. Let's give that a try. Oh, yes. For Yeti, yes, you can. For the last name and first name, yes, you can. I think that one we also tried already. You can use the ampersand to join them or use concatenate. But for me, I usually prefer this ampersand, which is the and. Yeah. Okay, so let me repeat again. Equal to, now I want to join today's date with the actual date together. So first I'm going to reference C28, which is today's date. It's a text. Then we're going to use the ampersand to join it, which is and. And then we'll have space between the today's date and then the number, which is, we're going to use double quotes. Double quote, we're going to put a space using the space bar, and then we're going to put double quotes. Then and we're going to use, since this is a date function, this is it's in a date format or it's in a number format. It would, in order that we're able to maintain the format so that it appears intact, we're going to convert it to a text using text. There's a function called text that allows you to convert from values to text, basically maintaining the same format. So it appears in the same format. So text, open bracket, what's the value? This is the value. How do you want it to be formatted? How do you want it to appear? I want to put it in double quotes. Double quotes. They want it to appear as want the day to come first or want the month to come first. MM. You can do hyphen. Or let us follow the same format we did here, which is day, forward slash. Then we had month, which is MM, forward slash, and then we had year for 23. And then we close our double quotes and we close our bracket. Basically, and that is how we join text and numbers together. So is there any other question? So let me just mention that in case you are confused, you can't remember the format for this. Another thing you can do is you can go to, let me hide this. Okay. So you can go to under the numbers formats, you can go there, go to more number formats, then you go to custom. Under custom, you see a lot of the different formats. So all you can just do is, so now you can see month, day, year. All you just need to do is to copy. Once you copy, just go there and then you paste it. If you're not very certain of it, maybe you're having errors, because usually when you start working with this, sometimes you have errors. Yeah, so all you can do is copy and paste and you're good, basically. So now let's try for current time equal to, so let's give this a try. C29 and let's add a space, and then we have our text. Mention the values, comma. So the format text. So this is going to be double quotes. So let's say we'll have hours, then column, then we have minutes, then we have AM/PM, and then we have our close brackets. So that gives us we're able to join it. So remember, if you cannot remember this format, all you can do, or better still, what you can do is, if you don't remember the format, because sometimes these things can skip your head and try to scratch. All you need to do is go to custom. When you scroll down, you see a lot of these things. So you can see the one for, this one even includes seconds, hours, minutes, seconds. So you can just paste it here and you're fine. You can see hours, minutes, and seconds. But if you don't want the seconds, you can always take away the seconds. Is that fine? Are we good? Yeah, I just showed the shortcuts. So I said the shortcut, basically, not shortcuts, the alternative, you can't remember the format. You can click on, you go to your numbers, under the home tab, go to numbers, go to your edit options, your different format cells. So go to custom. Under custom, you see all the different formats. So you click on the format you want and then you select it. This is the format and you select it. So when you select it, you copy it and then you can cancel and you go there and you paste it. Yes. So let me just use the opportunity to talk about the text function so that you can actually do a lot of interesting things with the text function. So for the text function, let's say I want to find out the day for this date. Now I have the date and I'm asked, okay, so generate the day that maybe this date seems to fall on. Which day does this date fall on? You can use the text function to actually achieve that as well. So you select it, comma. So the format will now be, so if it's the day you want, it becomes D. So D for this will give you the full day. So if it's a Monday, it will give you Monday in full. If it's a Sunday, it will give you Sunday in full. But if you have just 3D, it will abbreviate it. So let's see how that works. Close it and enter. So you can see it falls on a Sunday. So today is a Sunday and that's why it shows Sunday. If I change the date, it will actually give us the date that, so let me even do this. -5. 5 days ago was Tuesday. So I just did Tuesday -5. So Today minus 4 was when? Wednesday. You can see changes. And 3 days ago was Thursday. So basically, with this text function, you can do it. So if I want it abbreviated, all I need to do is also reduce the number of days. Sorry, that is 2. 2 will give me the exact day that 2 days ago was. So Thursday, that's 3 days. So let's make this 1. Saturday, you can see the abbreviation for Saturday. You can see the abbreviation for Friday. If I want it to be full, and then, but also it works for the month. If I want to know the month, so we know that this month, today, this month is what? We're in October. So that is MMMM. So, oh, that was actually 2 days ago was September. So you can say October. Basically gives us the month. And the same thing works also for the year as well. So if I want only the year, that is 2023. So minus, let's say minus 365 days, that's 2022. So basically that also works for the year as well. So I can get the year, the month, and date. There's also a function called a year that can actually give you the year. But this is also another way you can actually derive the year. There's also a function called day as well to get the day. But using this text, you can also derive derive the text, the what do you call it, the year, the day, and the month. The only thing is that whatever you're going to be deriving is not going to appear in form of a number. It will be formatted as a text because you're actually converting to a text. So to appear as a text, that's just to recall. But we're going to be using year or day, it's going to appear as a number. That's just the difference. So let's just hold that handy because this will always come in very handy. Let's keep it in our arsenal because you always need it from time to time. Any questions so far? I feel like I will have a lot of questions here. Oh, no question. That's good. Please, can you show the shortcut again to put the day and time? Okay, I think I've done that already. Okay, I've responded to that. All right. Please, if you're not clear on it, you can still ask it again. Yeah, but I think I actually responded to that. So yes, I guess we're good to go. So are we good? Yes. Any question? No. Can we move on? Yes. All right, let's go on. Wait, I lost you since joining of day and time. Whoa. Why? Why? So did you get the joining of day and time? Of date and time? So I mentioned that when joining date and time, for this one, it's easy for you to put your and it will work because they are both in the same format, which is text. But what happens when they're in two different formats? That's text and a number, or basically a date or time. What do? What you need to do is to convert. So let me just show you what happens if we just try to add it normally. Like if we try to just join both of them together, the way we joined the two texts. So what happens? And so we have space and then so you can see it changes to 44835 because it's reading it as a text already. So if I was to change this to a text, that is almost what it will be reading. Text. So you can see 4835. If this was written as a text, this is how it will appear. I don't know where they usually get this number from or how they generate this number, but a lot of times you come across it, even when you're doing your data cleaning, basically, where this will appear. So this is how it appears, but we know that there's something wrong with this, right? Yes. So in order to ensure that it maintains the integrity of the format, we have to convert this format to a text so that it appears as a text when joining together. And that's why we had to now use the function called text. And then mention the format we want it to appear in, which is month forward slash the day forward slash yeah. And then we close it with the double quotes and we close our brackets and we press enter. And basically it maintains the integrity of the format. So that's what we did here. And then I now went further to explain how the text function works. So I said the text function, with the text function, you can also achieve a few things like determining the day a particular date falls under, the year, the month, and a few other things like that. So we want to get the, like getting specific information about the date. So we want to get the year, or let's even say the day, like a Monday or a Tuesday or a Wednesday. You can use the function called DDD, D 4 times. That will give you the day a particular date falls in. So for example, like this date is on a Saturday because it's 2022. So last year, 1st of October was on a Saturday, but this year it's on a Sunday. But let's do today. Today is what? A Sunday, which is 1st of October this year, 2023. So I hope that makes sense. Yeah. So it's actually 7:17. So we need to quickly round up. Let's quickly, we need to finish up these things. So I won't touch on VLOOKUP. I will touch on So I'll touch on if statement quickly, and then I think I've looked at conditional statement. Okay, no, we've not looked at conditional statement. So we'll quickly look at conditional statement. Hopefully we're able to achieve that in 20 minutes or less, 23 minutes or less. Let's say 20 minutes. Okay, so let's move together. So if statement is one statement you use a lot. Well, I use a lot, I would say, maybe because of the nature the of what I do. Yeah, and it's actually a very interesting if statement. Sometimes my if statement can be really scary. Yeah, it can be really lengthy. Okay, I don't want to use this sheet. So let me share a new sheet that I think would effectively explain the concept of if statement. And then maybe we'll just look at a few other things in this sheet as well. So let me quickly share. Okay, to screen. But please, if you have any question, do not hesitate to ask. Just post it and I'll respond. Okay, so can we see my new screen? Oh, sorry, wait. Is it confusing the day and time? Okay, so success, can you unmute and just explain what the challenge is? Let me quickly sort it out. Let's discuss it. If you want to, can you unmute so I can respond if you have any question? Okay, now let's even use this. If you can see my screen, let me just quickly introduce a new sheet. So now we have these data sets to play around with. Oh, see me, I can't spell day. Sorry about that. So we have the start date rather, and then we have the end dates. So we have 11th of 2nd, 2021. So, or actually, this is 2nd of November, 2001. So which day does 2nd of November fall on? Which day does it fall on? Do you want to guess success? Can you unmute? Success, are you there? I don't know if it's success. Please let's rename our device So I know I'm actually calling the right name or calling the right person because the device is showing user success. The person that said, gosh, this day and time is so confusing. All right, so if I don't get a response, I think I'll just have to move on. I don't think there's need for this again. So if statement, so I'm going to be focusing on the if statement. So the if statement basically it works using what do you call it? Logical what's the word? It uses logics. There's a word they call it a logical test, yes. So it uses a logical test and it can have only two outcomes, a true outcome or a false outcome. So if it's true, it will perform a particular operation. If it's false, if the logical test is false, it will perform the false option. So you have the logical test, you have if it's true, if it's false, basically. So what do I mean by logical? So there are actually different logical operations. For the operations, we have equal to, we have greater than, we have less than, we have greater than or equal to, sorry, greater than or equal to, we have less than or equal to, and then we also have not equal to. So this is called equal to. We have greater than, we have less than, we have greater than, or so or equal to. Then we have less than or equal to, and then we have not equal, sorry, not equal to. Thank you. So basically, these are the different logical operators that we use. So if it meets any of the criteria, using the if statement is going to perform one of the function. That is if it's true or it's not true. Something about a logical test is you can have only two outcomes, true or false. So if it's true, it will carry out a particular operation. If it's false, it will carry out a different operation. Now we have the age. So we have this age. We have 30, 29, 31, 32, 35. So let's say we want to find out, we want to categorize it, right? So we have this data, we want to analyze it, we want to find out, okay, we want to group the individuals as maybe young adult or old adult or middle class. So let's say if they are below, if they are below 30, if they are less than 30, then they are youngsters. If they are greater than or equal to 30, then we'll term them as old, as old. So let's do that. Equal to if, open bracket. So, okay, I know you don't have this in your sheet. So what you can also do, you can also type age and then type if. Those are the only two things we're working with. So let's type these numbers 30, 29, 30, 30, 29, 31, 32, 35, 32, 38, 31. They're not much. I think it's something you can quickly type. So equal to if, the logical test is if it's greater than, what was the word? So if it's, is it greater than, if it's less than, if it's less than 30, if it's less than 30, what should we call it? They are young. So I'm going to put it in quotes because I'm typing it. So double quotes, I open it, young, and then double quotes, then comma. If it's false, what do I put? Sit here. If it's false, what should it be? I'll put it in double quotes. Then let's call them elderly. Then put it in double quotes. and then I close my bracket and then enter. So what do we call this one? Okay, sorry. Okay, let's no D2. Yeah, elderly. So how many youngsters do we have? Oh, there's only one person that's below 30. Okay, let's even do greater than, okay, less than or equal to. Let's do less than or equal to 30, then they are young. If it's true, they are young. If it's false, then it's elderly. So which means we have some young people in the house. So 30, 30, 29, they are all young. And then those that are above 30, they're all elderly. And that's how it works. So I hope that is fine. Is there any question based on this? So that's
Sir, please come again. You're too fast. You're too fast. Can you please come again, sir? Yes.
oh, I'm so fast. Oh, sorry. Okay, let me come again.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm talking about the if statement. So I said the if statement basically, the syntax is a logical test, value if true, value if false. Logical test basically means is if it meets a particular criteria and you have different logical operations. The logical operations are equal to, greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, and then not equal to. So I listed it to your right. You see it here. Yes. So basically, it means that if it meets a certain criteria, it should carry out a particular function. So when you're dealing with logical tests, you can have only two outcome. That is if it's true or if it's false. For example, if I ask, are you a male or a female? You can either be a male or you can be a female. So there's only two outcome. Are you a boy or a girl? You can either be a boy or a girl. So you can have only two outcome. That's how the if statement works. So if it's true, it should perform a particular operation. If it's false, it should perform a particular operation. So that's what it means. So it must meet a particular criteria. Yes, once it meets that criteria, it will perform a particular operation if it's true. If it doesn't meet that criteria, which means it's false, it's going to perform a different operation. So let's give it a try. So now we have people, we have Jim, these people, Jim, Pam, Dwight, Angela, Toby, Michael, Meredith, Stanley, Kevin. And these are their ages. We want to group them into young and old. So we want to group them into young and let's say old. So those that are young are those between, those that are less than 30 years old. So this is the less than sign. Then anyone that is greater than, sorry, anyone that is less than or equal to. This means less than or equal to. So less than or equal to means less than 30 years. So if you are 29 years, if you are 28 years, if you're 27 years, if you're 25 years, you are young. But if you are above 30 years, then that is greater than. The equal to means you are 30 years. So young means less than or equal to. So the way I wrote less than equal to. So less than or equal to, that's actually how we call it. Less than or equal to. Yeah, so this is equal to, which means A and B are the same. I'm trying not to confuse anyone. So which means the two things are the same. Greater than, which means above. Less than, which means below. Greater than or equal to, which means it could either be greater than or it could be equal to. And then you have less than or equal to, which means be less than or equal to. And then you have not equal to, which means it is not equal to. So we'll give that a try. So now using the if statement, so equal to if. So now we want to find out, we want to group them, those that are below 30. So if they're below 30, then they are young. If they're above 30, they are old. So we want to group them like that. I want to use the if statement to group them. So the logical test will not be D2 if it's less than or equal to 30. That's the logical test. Comma. So if it's less than or equal to 30, then that person is young. So now this is the value if it's true. So if it's true, what should it show? It should show young. That's what we're telling you to do. But if the person is not less than or equal to 30, then it should show old. So is this fine? Equal to if, open bracket, if D2, that age, is less than or equal to 30, comma, it should show young. If it's false, it should show old. So what will be the answer? What will it reflect? Who wants to help me out? What will it show?
Young.
Young, thank you very much. So to show young, let's see. Young, exactly. Because 30 is equal to 30. So it meets the first criteria. But if this was 35, what will it show? If I change it to 35, what will it show? To change to old. Because 35 is not less than or is not equal to 30. 35 is greater than 30. I hope that makes sense. Is that fine? And then we can drag it down. So at this time, is there any question so far? I would need to end the class at this point. So from next week, when we meet, I'll try and be as fast as possible. My next one will be looking at data modeling and data cleaning, the different ways to, for data modeling, we'll be focused on VLOOKUP. I will be focused on, yeah, VLOOKUP and index match. I actually have a lot of assignment for that, that you guys will need to take home. And then also and then we'll look at data cleaning as well. How to clean your data using trim, clean, and a few other substitutes and a few other functions as well. And then also we need to round up on this class looking at conditional formatting and a few other things. Yeah, but I'll need to end the class at this point. So is there any question so far?
Sir, I need to ask for a favor, sir.
Okay, please ask.
Sir, please, about the class, if you are going to like schedule the class, you should notify us at least through the group like 3 hours before, because we are keeping our phones sometimes away from us so that we do some businesses. Like me today, I didn't know that the time you already scheduled the time until 6 o'clock now.
Okay,
So I miss a lot, and I know what I miss, sir.
Oh, so sorry.
Thank you.
Sorry about that. Okay, so subsequently, we'll try and ensure that the information goes out early enough so you can properly plan to join the class. All right, thank you.
Sir, one more thing, sir, please. Sorry.
Sorry?
Sir. Yes, it's can we have the video of this one class, like maybe if possible tomorrow, so that we'll study it again before the next class, because I miss a lot, sir, like a lot.
Okay, so the admin is working on
the recording, I mean.
Yeah, the recording. So the admin plans to upload most of these videos online. Yeah, I think he also wants to edit some of the videos as well. Yeah, so I think so getting it tomorrow might not be feasible. Yes, so Yeah. So, but once that has been done,
Okay, thank you, sir.
yes, everyone will be notified on the group chat. Apologies about that. But yeah,
Okay, thank
I think
you.
it's also on the call, so I guess you would take note of it and try and hasten the process. Yes.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you very much. All right. So thank you, everyone. I hope we had a good experience. I hope we enjoyed the class. I look forward to us continuing on Saturday next week. Please let's be timely so that we can start on time and finish in good time as well. Let's have a wonderful evening and happy independence, everyone, once again. Bye, everyone. Hello?